I thought about St. Mark's Gospel is set up so right from the beginning almost, the enemies of Jesus start bitching and complaining and are nasty, and they go to the high priest, and by chapter 4 you got all the enemies of Jesus, all of whom hated each other, in an evil collusion to get rid of him. Something like the bishop got rid of me. Although I don't think he was evil. And I said, oh, that fits, where America's at today. That we have xenophobia about immigrants. We have racism. We have people in the western part of the country are anti-Asian. I've heard them talk. And of course, the slave and colored and black syndrome has gone on for 400 years. Plus all the attitudes of people who don't want to hear the truth, which is most of the human race, I guess, to be pessimistic for a moment. So we took the Gospel of St. Mark, the controversy stories, and used Superman. Superman was a Christ figure, but we adapted it, the story of Superman, to St. Mark's Gospel, where nobody wanted to listen to the truth. They wanted to get him on trial. They wanted to get rid of him. The Roman Empire, because he was causing political upheaval in Israel, doubly wanted to get rid of him. In fact, the Roman Empire killed Jesus, not the Jews. There were just a few Jewish leaders that participated in that for their own self-interest reasons. So, and you could see, since everybody knew Superman, and the movie had just come out when I was giving a scripture workshop in Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, and the pastor took me to see the movie at one free night, or the night after I was done, or before, I forget which. No, we saw it in the afternoon because I had to teach at night. And I could see the parallelism of St. Mark's Gospel, how the bad guys hated Superman, but on a much deeper level, St. Mark's Gospel was written, the first Gospel, and it was written fast, and it was written in 65 to 70 Common Era, only 40 years after Jesus died and rose. It was the most immediate document after the epistles of Paul. The main purpose of St. Mark's Gospel was to teach the people who were confused, to correct the first Jewish, Christian, and pagan Roman converts, that Jesus was not a faith healer, which now he's been made into. He was the Son of God, the Son of Man, not the God-man. He was a human Jewish person that lived and died and came out of a woman and died at about 34 years old at the hands of the Roman Empire. He was just like us. In fact, the Catholic Church has to fight and fight and fight so people won't make Jesus into an angel or a demagogue or a half-God, half-man, all that horrible stuff. So in St. Mark's Gospel, he wrote it to convince people Jesus is not a faith healer, or a soothsayer, or the Delphic Oracle. He is a real man who came to teach you how to live and change the world.